Emerging from the shadows of a fading Roman Empire, the specter of migration once again seized the collective imagination of a people weary from the trials of their time. The first wave of the migration period saw the collapse of the Western Roman Empire, its lands now inhabited by a patchwork of various Germanic tribes. Here, they laid the foundations for a new Europe, a Europe made in their own image. However, the second wave that came soon after solidified these foundations, crystallizing the continent's destiny for centuries to come. Defying geographical boundaries and transcending cultural divides, this second wave of migration drew upon a mosaic of peoples, each weaving their own unique narrative into the grand tapestry of history. From the warlike Bulgars of the east to the nomadic Magyars of the steppe, from the enterprising Arabs to the resilient Lombards, they embarked upon epic journeys that defied the limits of human endurance. The migration period witnessed a tectonic shift in the European landscape, with various nomadic tribes and peoples migrating across continents. Among these courageous wanderers were the Bulgarians, a semi-nomadic Turkic group originating east of the Volga River. Fleeing from the relentless onslaught of the marauding Huns, the Bulgars sought refuge in the vast Pontic steppe surrounding the Sea of Azov. It was here in the 5th century that the Bulgars first encountered the Eastern Roman Empire. Drawn to the wealth and splendor of the Byzantine world, the Bulgars embarked upon a path of audacious raids on the Danubian provinces throughout the 6th century. However, the new arrival of the Avars in Eastern Europe, a powerful nomadic people originating from Central Asia, forced the Bulgars to strengthen their position. United under Khan Kubrat, the Bulgars forged a formidable confederation known as Old Great Bulgaria. However, the death of Khan Kubrat in 665 put the Bulgars in a vulnerable position. Threatened by the emerging might of the nomadic Khazar Empire, Kubrat's son Kotrag took charge of his father's legacy. Leading a horde northward, they seized a strategic territory near the convergence of the Volga and Kama rivers. Thus, the Volga Bulgars emerged, a semi-nomadic confederation whose influence in the region endured for another 6 centuries. Meanwhile, Asparuk, another of Kubrat's sons, embarked on his own daring expedition. His horde found solace between the Danube River and the Balkan Mountains. This region, inhabited by the Vlachs and newly arrived Slavs, dwelled under the nominal control of the Eastern Roman Empire. In the year 681, the First Bulgarian Empire materialized. Over the ensuing years, the Bulgars assimilated the diverse Vlach and Slavic elements, their empire expanding into Serbia and Macedonia. The adoption of Christianity nurtured a common cultural identity among the Bulgars, Byzantines, and the Slavs, binding them together inextricably. With the dawn of the 11th century, the indomitable Bulgarians had metamorphosed into a Slavic-speaking Christianized people, their essence echoing that of the present-day Bulgarians. Firmly rooted in the fabric of history, they ensured that they were not mere transient visitors but an integral part of their land. In the vast lands of Eastern Europe, a new chapter was about to unfold. It was in the 9th century when a courageous group of nomads known as the Magyars ventured into the region, leaving a lasting mark on Europe. Nestled amidst the Carpathian Basin, a wide expanse of open plains in the heart of Europe, crisscrossed by the mighty Danube River, and embraced by the Balkan, Carpathian, and Alpine mountain ranges, this land saw nomadic tribes from the Black Sea's northern shores come and go. The Huns, Bulgars, and Avars were drawn to its allure, exerting their influence over the land. Among them, the Avars held sway over the region from the 6th to the 8th centuries. Their dominance, however, was destined to be shattered. A powerful force emerged, none other than Charlemagne, whose might eventually crushed the Avars, bringing an end to their reign in the year 800. While the Avars faded into history, Charlemagne's successors sought to establish their authority over the western half of the basin. One of their vassals, Moravia, had other ideas and openly defied the Carolingians. In the year 892, the Carolingian emperor Arnulf found himself in need of a helping hand. He turned to the Magyars. These people, led by their chief Arpad, resided in a portion of the Pontic steppe east of the Carpathian Mountains. With their hearts filled with determination, the Magyars embarked on a daring journey. They crossed the formidable Carpathian Mountains, embracing the promise of the open plains that lay beyond. The spring of 895 witnessed their arrival as they sought a new homeland, a place they could call their own. As the years rolled by, the Magyars proved their mettle. By 906, they had vanquished the Moravians, leaving no trace of their defiance. In the following year, they triumphantly occupied the left bank of the Danube, defeating a German force sent to halt their advance. The Magyars had firmly established themselves in the heart of the Carpathian Basin, shaping the birth of the country we know as Hungary. The invasion of the Italian peninsula by Odoacer and then the Ostrogoths resulted in the Eastern Romans attempting to retake it in the 6th century. However, their own invasion would be thwarted with the arrival of a new Germanic tribe to the peninsula, the Lombards. Originally from Scandinavia, the Lombards migrated to modern-day Austria due to hunger. The Eastern Roman Empire noticed them and invited them to settle in the Carpathian Basin as allies against the Gepids. King Albion's rise to the Lombard throne in 560 marked the downfall of the Gepids. To achieve this, the Lombards formed an alliance with the Avars, and together they defeated the Gepids in 567. However, this alliance had unintended consequences. Once the Gepids were defeated, the Avars gained control of the region and claimed all Gepid land and wealth. As the Lombards grew weaker, King Alboin realized it was wise to leave the region. Many Lombard soldiers had fought alongside the Byzantines in Italy and saw it as a fertile and prosperous land. Motivated by this opportunity, Alboin led the Lombards out of Pannonia and into northern Italy in 568, seeking a new home and a chance to thrive once more. Alboin encountered little opposition from Byzantine forces as he conquered city after city in a relatively deserted Italy. By 572, he had established his capital at Verona and had conquered most of the peninsula. However, regional disputes and his assassination by his wife in the same year weakened the Lombard kingdom. In 582, the Eastern Roman Emperor Maurice established the Exarchate at Ravenna to regain control over Italy from the Lombards. However, the people of Italy, who remembered the heavy taxes imposed by the empire, were not interested in imperial rule. The Exarchate proved ineffective, and the Lombards continued their fragmented rule. After Albion's assassination, the Lombards experienced a cycle of capable rulers who centralized power, expanded territories, and formed alliances with foreign powers, particularly the Franks. However, their reign was marred by an incompetent ruler who instigated wars against, again, the Franks. Ultimately, the Franks emerged victorious. In 774, Charlemagne defeated the last Lombard king, Desiderius, who had taken Rome and posed a threat to the Pope. This marked the end of Lombard rule in Italy as Charlemagne seized their lands. With the assassination of the fourth Islamic Rashidun Caliph, Ali ibn Abi Talib, in 661, a dispute arose over the succession of the relatively new Islamic world. Ali's supporters believed that leadership should remain within his family, while others felt that the caliphate should be elected based on merit. This disagreement led to civil war, known as the First Fitna, which lasted from 656 to 661. It ended with the ascension of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, a prominent figure from the Umayyad clan, beginning the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate from the city of Damascus. As the Caliphate's forces moved west across North Africa, Al-Walid I, the sixth caliph of the Umayyad dynasty, appointed Musa ibn Nusayr as the governor of the west. Musa, a capable leader, annexed all of North Africa up to Tangier. The inevitable invasion of Spain was the result of both the Muslim desire to expand and the plea for assistance from a Visigothic faction known as the Witizans. After King Witiza's death in 710, the Witizens felt dispossessed and appealed to Musa for help against the usurper Roderick. Responding to their call, Musa dispatched an army led by Tariq ibn Ziyad across the passage known today as the Strait of Gibraltar. In a decisive battle in July 711, they emerged victorious, defeating Roderick and paving the way for further conquests. Rather than returning to Africa, Tariq pushed forward, capturing Toledo, the Visigothic capital, where he spent the winter of 711. By the end of summer 714, Muslim control of Al-Andalus, Muslim Spain, extended over most of the Iberian Peninsula. The rapid success of the Islamic forces was partly due to the fragmented state of Hispano-Visigoth society. Different factions and conflicts hindered a united resistance. Additionally, the Muslim conquest brought certain advantages to various segments of society. Taxes became less burdensome than under Visigothic rule. Serfs who converted to Islam gained freedom and entered the ranks of nobility, and Jews, no longer persecuted, were granted equal status alongside Hispano-Romans and Goths, who remained Christian. As a result, a new society emerged in Muslim Spain during the first half of the 8th century. Muslim expansion deeper into Western Europe continued until 732, when the Franks, led by Charles Martel, halted the Muslims near the city of Tours, in modern-day France. This significant battle marked the beginning of the gradual retreat of Muslim forces. During this time, Al-Andalus was still under the control of the Umayyad Caliph in Damascus, but this would change in 756 when Abd al-Rahman I, an Umayyad prince who managed to escape the Abbasid revolution in the east, gained power in Al-Andalus and established an independent emirate. The second wave of the migration period witnessed the Bulgars, Magyars, Lombards, and Arabs surging forth with unwavering resolve, laying the final bricks for the genesis of a medieval Europe. Collectively, their migrations represent a pivotal period in history, fostering cultural exchange, innovation, and transformation, shaping the societies of Europe and the Mediterranean in profound and lasting ways.